Muy buenas, bienvenidos un día más a un rato con Chulato y continuamos en el X52. Vamos a revisar ya a los rehenes y a ver qué nos
I
cuentan.
can't believe you let Balak go to save us. I half expected you to just let us die, sacrifice the few for the many.
Then I'd be no better than the Batarians. Besides, Balak won't get away with this. I know who he is now. He can't run forever.
You sound like my brother. He was always so stubborn, but always willing to do the right thing, no matter what.
Your brother was the one Balak killed?
Yes. Aaron. He was the one who convinced me to join the team here. Said it would be an adventure.
Joder, qué triste.
I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but I should see to Aaron.
I understand. You've been through enough today. I'll get out of your way.
Thank you. Oh, I don't even know your name.
Shepard. Commander Shepard.
Thank you, Commander Shepard. You're not exactly what I expected, but thank you.
Vamos a investigarla un poco.
What can you tell me about the Batarians? What were they hoping to achieve with all this?
I don't even think they knew. When they first arrived, they were talking about getting us back to their ship. They wanted to sell us as slaves. When Balak showed up, everything changed. It was his idea to redirect the asteroid. Said it was the will of the Batarian Rebellion, whatever that is. They followed him quickly enough, but I don't know. I don't think they're all as fanatical as he was.
No, desde luego que no.
That was a brave thing you did, Kate. Contacting me on the radio, risking your life.
Stubborn and determined runs in the family. My father was in the Alliance back on Earth. I think he was disappointed none of us kids signed up, but he'd be proud of Aaron.
Qué triste.
Sorry. I just...
How did the asteroid get all the way over here? Why wasn't someone alerted sooner?
The asteroid was scheduled to arrive in a day or two. Balak just sped it up. This rock is full of valuable minerals, but it was too far from Terra Nova to be profitable, so we attached some fusion rockets to it and drove it back. It was all going smoothly until... We'll get everything back to normal soon enough. Almost everything.
You've been through a lot. I'll get out of your way. So long, Kate.
I appreciate that, Commander. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bueno, vamos a investigar qué hay por aquí. No hay nada. A ver.
Thank you so much. I thought we were all dead.
Thank you again, Commander. You've done more than you know.
Por arriba ya hemos paseado antes, que no había nada, así que... ¿Cómo vamos, Don Nigel? Necesito...
You can't imagine how much you've done for all of us.
Joder que no. He salvado el puto planeta. Bueno. Vamos a echar un vistazo por aquí y nos vamos del planeta. Venga, arriba, Mako. Tú puedes. Ya ha hecho bien, mira. Un punto de investigación. ver. ¿Qué tenemos por aquí? Danos auxilio, ya estoy lleno. En CPU aparece un manifiesto de carga completo que cubre los contenedores de exterior. La mayor parte no tiene mucho interés, equipo de excavación y barracones. Hay una nota que se llama la atención. Los explosivos se han trasladado a las coordenadas 32, 4 y 16 por cuestiones de seguridad. Mapa de zona. Hostia. Estoy lleno de minas. Vamos a echarle un vistazo, a lo mejor hay algún arma. Hacia allí. No lo podían poner más alejado, ¿no? ¡Ah, coño! Madre mía, qué escondidos.
I'm on my way.
Dos de granadas. No hay nada aquí. Vámonos. Ay, yo diría que ya el planeta, como no hay algo aquí... Pero no, porque está. Vámonos. Volvemos a la Normandía. Y vamos a dar un paseíto, que hace tiempo que no hablamos con la gente.
Yes, Commander?
Nada.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, sir.
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my metal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I, pulled your boots out of the fire.
If we present you with a medal, you'll end up sitting on stage listening to politicians make speeches for a couple of hours. Fun.
That's a good point. They'd probably make me shave, too. I spent the last 7 weeks working on this baby. No medal's worth that. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
Nah, nada.
I have to go.
Alright, see ya.
No, poco a poco me van dando más cosas de la nave, pero... Quería hablar con la gentuza de abajo. Nada para investigar.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
Is this an official evaluation, Commander? Or off the record?
Alenko, when it's just you and me, you can consider it off the record.
That's a generous attitude. Okay. I think there's something wrong with all this.
Falla.
This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
The Council doesn't want to believe
Dime.
anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
Tell me about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled.
Ajá. Interesante.
There are worse results of accidental exposure to element 0 in the womb. Beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
Is there some question about how you were exposed?
My mother was downwind of a transport crash. It was before there were human biotics, a little after the discovery of the Martian ruins. It only gets iffy around 63 when kinetics was running out of first-gen subjects. Until then, they'd relied on accidentals. A bunch of guys in suits show up at your door after school, and next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero.
Jump Zero is Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
Yeah, that's the official name. Biggest and farthest facility we had for decades. Right on the termination shock, the outer edge of the solar system. It's where they did all the Goose Chase FTL research before we caught on to using mass effect fields. It was a sterile research platform when I was there.
Joder.
There were other kids in the same boat, right? At least you weren't alone out there.
That's true. We did have a little circle that'd get together every night before lights out. We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform then, and kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
Then you must have had plenty of time to get to know each other.
Yeah, we'd sit around and bull every night after dinner, play cards or network games.
Juegos en red.
There was this girl named Rana, who had a little circle grow up around her. She was from Turkey. Her family was very rich. But she was smart and charming as hell.
Oh, estaba enamorado.
But not stuck up about it. I think you'd have liked her.
Sounds like she was special to you.
¿Ves?
She was. Maybe she felt the same. But things never felt together. Training, you know.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. As big as the exposures were, it was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. No one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything kinetics did.
Hombre, si puedes crear armas biológicas
I'm not saying
perfectas,
they
¿por qué no vas a
intentionally detonated
exponerlos?
drives over our outposts, but in retrospect, they were damn quick on the scene.
Qué oscuro se me ve.
Jump Zero is a long way from home. What was it like?
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. But that's my own baggage, Commander. No bearing on this.
Alenko, there's no regulation that says you can't be friends with your commander.
I appreciate that, Commander. I just don't want you to think that I'm a...
Eres un llorón, macho. Solo porque hicieron experimentos biológicos
I
en
got
ti.
my past squared away.
Vale. Ahora vamos a hablar con la doctora.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I
Esto ya
enlisted.
lo sabíamos, ya lo
But
sabíamos.
humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the
Nada.
Traverse. And
I
the
should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Adiós. No me cuentas nada interesante. A ver qué dice esta.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
I'm just glad we got there in time.
Mierda, me he equivocado. Quería
so
darle al
am
otro.
I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I'm
Me?
afraid I am not
Oh.
very interesting, Commander. I spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Sometimes I would run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers, but I was always careful. Until the Geth followed me to Artemis Tau, I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As for the solitude, well, that is one aspect that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
You don't like other people?
I suppose
¿A
it
quién le
comes
gusta la
from being a
gente?
matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Benezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds
Todo lo
so
contrario
foolish
de la
when I
madre,
say
sí,
it
que
out
sí.
loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Benezia.
All children rebel against their parents. It's a natural part of growing up.
Aha, you share the wisdom of the matriarch, Shepard. That is exactly what Benezia said when I told her of my decision. But there was more to it than that. I felt drawn to the past. The Protheans were these wondrous, mysterious figures. I wanted to know everything about them. That is why I find you so fascinating. You were marked by the beacon on Eden Prime. You were touched by working Prothean technology.
Pues si quieres tiene una baliza que también puedes tocarle, ¿eh?
What? No, I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard. I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, by the goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool. Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people. Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
This hurts you, doesn't it?
None of this makes any sense to me. I have not spoken to Benezia in many years, but I know her, and this was not like her. Something
Sí, que es una mala puta.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
A ver, ¿qué rumores?
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
¿Eh? ¿De cualquier sexo?
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards.
Oh, está bien eso.
Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
I thought you always needed another species to serve as one of the parents.
Think about it, Shepard. If we were not able to mate with our own species, we would have died out long before we ever mastered spaceflight and left our homeworld. Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood, though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face.
¿Qué dices? ¿Un sangre pura ser un insulto?
It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
Maybe she wanted to meet you but couldn't. Something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
Ah, bueno, claro, si con 106 años es una jovencita.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of
Esto ya lo hemos visto.
Though I know my father, if you want to use that term,
vale, pero
was
me
another
falta el otro.
Asari.
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits. I am what is sometimes called... It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union.
Lo mismo.
She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as
Maybe
her
she wanted to meet you, but couldn't.
You might. Benezia never spoke of her Many Asari
Vale,
raise their
esto ya lo
children
hemos
alone,
visto.
particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will
You
pass
Asari lived for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them.
Tierno.
And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
La cultura Asari ya la hemos visto, esto ya lo hemos visto, vale.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Joder, 102. Está mal. Ah, el ascensor, ¿dónde está? Aquí. Ahora vamos a hablar con los de abajo. Con las ratitas. Vamos a hablar con las ratitas un poco. Vaya chapa que nos ha soltado la Asari. Los cojones. A ver. Vamos a echar un vistazo por aquí. Y a ver qué nos cuenta la señorita Tali.
Something I can do for you, Commander.
Nada.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Oh, hello, Shepard.
Are you okay?
I don't know. Your ship is amazing, and your crew's been really great to me, especially your chief engineer. But I just sort of feel out of place.
Ay, pobrecita
The
mía.
Normandy runs so smooth it feels like we're not even moving, and the engines are so quiet. How do you sleep at night?
The silence wakes you up?
Back on the flotilla, the last thing you want to hear is silence. It means an engine's died or an air filter shut down.
No me jodas.
I guess you don't have to worry about that here. But old habits die hard. But it's more than just the silence. This ship feels so empty. It's like half the crew is missing. Back home, I couldn't wait to go on my pilgrimage. I couldn't wait to get away from the crowds. Now that I'm out here, I kind of miss them.
Sometimes we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone.
That's true. I'm starting to wonder if that's what the pilgrimage is really about. It's given me a whole new perspective on my people and
ahora
our
quieres volver con tu
culture.
pueblo.
You know, there's always a few who go on their pilgrimages and never return. I always assumed something bad happened to them. But maybe they just wanted a different life.
You do plan to return to the migrant fleet, right?
I could never abandon my people, Shepard. I will go back eventually. But we have to stop Seren first. Otherwise, I might not have a home to go back to.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival.
Esto ya nos lo había
Bonds
contado,
among
me
my
parece,
people are
¿verdad?
strong. Unfortunately, We have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
I want to talk about
Like
something.
what?
Nada, no hay nada
I should
nuevo.
go.
See you later.
Bueno, vamos a hablar con el
Looking
oficial
for
de
supplies?
suministros.
How often will you get new items?
Well, that depends on how many licenses. And anytime we land someplace with a big... Check back
nada.
often.
Todo esto
I need
para-
to move items quickly, so only the
Cuéntame
most
lo que
basic
quieres.
items will be stocked consistently.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
A ver, vamos a vender. Todo lo que sea de nivel 1. Todo lo que me queda ya es del 2, del 3 y del 4. También podría vender ya lo del 2. Joder. Que tengo mierda. Ahora a comprar. Vamos a ver. Ya, buena armadura. Está ahí. Treinta, 180 pierdo un poco de endurecimiento, pero todo lo demás está de puta madre. ¡A la zaca! Y... aún queda un poco. Vamos a hablar con Garrus a ver si nos dice
How
algo.
are you? Why did you want to be a CSEC officer in the first place?
That's a good question. There were several reasons, I guess.
Like
Me
what?
parece
Probably
que...
the same as most officers. I guess he's taking my resignation pretty hard.
That's tough. But you'd think he'd be impressed you're going after Saren.
My father's a CSEC man to the bone.
Ah, no, pues no, me he saltado una conversación que no habíamos visto.
Thinks I'm being too rash, too impatient. He's worried I'll become just like Saren. He actually talked me out of becoming a Spectre when I was younger, for the same reasons.
You were asked to be a Spectre?
Well, I was targeted as a possible Spectre candidate, me and about 1,000 other Turian military recruits. I could have received special training, but my father didn't like it. He despises the Spectres. He hates the idea of someone having unlimited power with no accountability. He wouldn't like you, Commander. No offense.
I suppose I can understand his concern.
You can. But Saren's not going to play by our rules, CSEC's rules. If you want to nail Saren, you need to send someone who isn't restricted by policies and procedures.
Just because you can break the rules doesn't mean you should. I don't need to stoop to Saren's level to stop him. And neither do you.
Sí, señor.
I see what you mean, but I'll think about it. Thanks, Commander.
Ok. A ver, ¿dónde está Ashley?
Commander, you have a minute to talk.
I keep an open door policy. If you have any concerns, lay them on me.
All right. I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vicarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
They may not serve the Alliance, Chief, but they're allies. At least as far as Saren goes.
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy. I don't think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems. Engines, sensors, weapons.
You don't trust the Alliance's allies?
I'm not sure I'd call the Council races allies. We, humanity, I mean, have to learn to rely on ourselves.
Wow. Cuidado, la raza pura esta.
Standing up for ourselves doesn't mean standing alone.
I don't think we should turn down allies. I just think we shouldn't bet everything on them staying allies. As noble as the council members seem now, if their backs are against the wall, they'll abandon us.
I don't see that as inevitable.
Look, if you're fighting a bear and the only way for you to survive is to sick your dog on it and run, you'll do it. As much as you love your dog, it isn't human. It's not racism, not really. Members of their species will always be more important to them than humans are.
These seem like deeply held beliefs, Williams. What made you think this way?
My family's defended the Alliance since it was founded. My father, grandfather, great-grandmother, they all picked up a rifle and swore the oath of service. I guess we just tend to think of Earth's interests as our own.
It doesn't sound like you've worked with aliens before.
No, sir. Mainly I've been groundside, part of the surface garrison forces. I did get a rotation on a space station for training. Every Marine a rifleman, every rifleman ZG certified.
That's odd. Your record is spotless and your technical scores are exemplary. You should be serving with the fleet.
Anyway, that's why I haven't served with many aliens, Commander.
I come from a military family too. My parents were both Navy. Anybody in your family we might know?
Couldn't say, Commander. We probably have a lot in common. You join up to carry on the tradition?
Ah, no, hombre, para ver espacio.
No. The future of humanity is out here. There's so much we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I still remember my first field exercise on Titan. When we hit mud, the reality hit me. I'm the first person who ever stood here. Then my drill instructor kicked me in the ass. I went face first into the muck. He spent the next 5 minutes chewing me out for gold breaking.
Don't tell me you had Gunny Ellison. He's the only one I know who uses that word to describe shirty beauty.
bonito.
Oh Lord, you went to the Macapag boot camp too? Yeah.
Qué cara más,
Gunny
me ha dado
Ellison's still
miedo y
putting out
todo.
recruits down there, kicking ass and using words like inveigle and pusillanimous.
Vale. Venga.
All right. I can see where your concerns are coming from, Williams. But this is a multilateral mission. You're going to have to work with aliens, like it or not.
It won't be a problem, Commander. You say jump, I say how high. You tell me to kiss a Turian, I'll ask which cheek.
Ooh.
Would you kiss anyone I ordered you to?
That depends, sir. If you ordered me to kiss a superior officer, that would be a violation of the regs concerning fraternization. That would make it an illegal order. I'd be required to decline and relieve you of command. Sir.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
I think she's being straight with us. Or at least, I don't think she lies very often.
Yeah, she's probably really bad at it. Hey, want me to ask her about her sex life? Might be illuminating.
Yeah.
That's between you and her.
Scuttlebutt says otherwise. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom.
I think she's being straight.
Hey, want me to ask her about her sex life?
I don't think she's used to teasing.
No Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean,
We'll talk later, Williams.
Looking forward to it, sir.
Ok, pues vamos a dejarlo por aquí de momento. Luego continuaremos. Bueno, sed felices y nos vemos.